Okay, today I'm going to talk about the, the coffee industry. Actually, tea industry, but I label it as coffee industry, culture, and sustainability. Now, what is the tea industry? Or at least the coffee industry, it was the coffee industry. It's a very extractive and expropriation industry. It takes away all the entropic capital. So whatever these economists say about the tea industry, it is irrelevant. But if you take the tea industry, it has certain health benefit. But if you take Gotugola, Belimal, and if you take even like Polpala, now Polpola you should not drink too much. So even herbal plants, you have to have certain limits for that. So this tea industry doesn't contribute to Sri Lanka's economy, right? Because I build economics on entropic footprints and entropic capital. But whereas the rubber industry has it's good in carbon fixing, and you get firewood, timber, and you can even create furniture. But when it comes to fiat currencies, tea industry is valued more than the rubber industry. So that really shows what is the fiat currencies about. Okay? So fiat currencies are not relevant. And also, in economics, culture is very important. So, if you take the tobacco industry, people were bought from the Coromandel coast and the Malabar coast. And tobacco industry was mainly for extraction and expropriation. Okay? So that's the history of it. And in the tea industry, or the coffee industry, or how you call it, you have positive thing, it has health. But if you take herbal plants in Sri Lanka, they are more healthy than the tea. But even that, you have to be careful of how you use it. So now people talk about the people employed in it. There are Tamils and there are also Sinhalese employed in the tea industry. Okay? Don't ever forget that. But the tea industry was brought here for extraction of entropic capital, but mostly for cultural genocide. And tobacco industry also cultural genocide. If you go to certain areas in the tea industry, the natives don't have land to bury their dead. Dead people, they have difficulty in burying their dead. So that's about the tea industry. So you can increase the pay for the tea industry, rubber industry, that's a different matter. When you increase the pay for the tea industry, what you are actually promoting is some form of sustainability. And when you exchange tea, you exchange mostly for either gas or petroleum. That is also entropic capital. Okay? So I would say, now I am going to divert a little bit when it comes to culture. I would say for Simon and Garfunkel, you have to build bridges between you, right, over troubled waters, because your silence is very deafening. So I think you have to build. So anyway, Jesus loves you anyway. But if you build a bridge between Simon and Garfunkel, Garfunkel, then Jesus will love you even more. If you take Jeffrey Sachs, Jesus loves you anyway. But you have to build the concept of ecological entropic footprints and entropic capital into your economics. Then Jesus will love you more, right? And when it comes to economics, well, I'm trying to get this correct this time. Yanis Varoufakis, well, I didn't get it correct again. You are always on my mind when it comes to economics, and Jesus loves you more than what you think. Okay? So, economics, culture, and Simon and Garfunkel, You always go together, and I think you have to break the silence. I mean, at least maybe one or two songs you have to break the silence, because sound of silence is sometimes very deafening. And when it comes to the tea industry and comparing with the rubber industry, our economies are totally wrong. This is not talking about the increase of salary. When you increase the salary, sometimes you make the thing more non-sustainable. Okay? So, just referring to Jesus, in my final thoughts, you have to change the way of thinking. And Janice, Jesus loves you much more than you think.